So this is the very first video of HANZOWEEN. HANZOWEEN is 31 tutorials in the whole month of October, so that means I'm putting out a new tutorial every single day. 31 tutorials. It's gonna get crazy. It only seemed fit to do a skull carved jack-o'-lantern as the first video because, obviously, we're going into Halloween. It fit, know what I'm saying? You guys have been super excited for this, and I have too. I can't wait to show you guys the 31 tutorials that I put together for you guys. All product details will be listed down below, and let's just get to the tutorial, shit. So just starting out, we are going to start drawing our skull and our rib cage, just so we have a general idea of where we want everything. I'm using a lip pencil from MAC, but you can use any pencil because you'll just cover it up anyways. The lines don't have to be exact yet, but this will just kind of give you a little bit of a guide for where you want to put some of the paint. For the rib cage, I did look at a reference picture, and I would suggest doing that so that you can get it as realistic looking as possible. Now with some orange paint from Mehron makeup, this is water activated, I'm just going to fill in all of my pumpkin orange skin. With this kind of paint, just put a little bit of water. I use MAC Fix Plus. You don't have to use that because it is kind of expensive, but with these paints, find the exact consistency you want by adding more water or less water. I like to have a pretty thick consistency so that it's nice and opaque. Because girl, you know I love my tattoos, but when it comes to looks, I gotta cover that shit as much as possible, okay? Then just going in with a small detail brush from Mehron, I'm just going to fill in the small portions around the rib cage because that's a little tight for me to use that large brush with. Then just using the yellow paint from Mehron makeup, I am going to fill in the rest and possibly tickle my eye in the process. I like to use the yellow paint to really define where I want the lines because just like as you can see, when I was doing my jaw and that little hollow of my cheekbone, I did want to make the shape a little more dramatic. I saved my mouth for last because I have to kiss Moo, obviously. And you guys know I drink a fuck ton of coffee during my videos, so I always like to save my mouth for last. Using the Sugarpill Flamepoint eyeshadow, this is the bright matte orange, I'm just going to set all of my orange paint using a Morphe flat kabuki brush. And then with a smaller brush from Sigma, I am just filling in all of the yellow parts with Buttercupcake from Sugarpill. This is the Mehron Foundation Grease palette, so basically I'm just taking the white from that and I am putting it on the high points of my face. Exactly where you would highlight, go ahead and highlight your little pumpkin. I personally love using grease paints over water-activated paints because the water-activated paints do dry, and then putting the grease paints on top, they just blend so beautifully to really highlight or contour whatever you're doing. Pretty much for the rest of the shading on this look, we are going to be using the Morphe 35C palette. It has a ton of these matte eyeshadows. It's fucking awesome. And actually, you can get 10% off of it with my code JordanHans. So using the white eyeshadow, I'm just going to set the grease paint. Make sure you set it because if you don't, it can kind of move around a little bit. Now using the 3 brown shades from this palette, these are very warm toned, I am going to start really adding in some shadow and contour onto our pumpkin. We want our pumpkin to look as dimensional as possible, so using those warmer, dark shades around your forehead to make it look more circular, around the nose, on the back of the cheekbones, will really make this pop even more. Then going in with the black from this Morphe palette, it's actually super black, which is pretty awesome. I am going to really start darkening up where I already shaded. I don't want to completely mask what I just put down, but really focus it more on the very edge of where I shaded. I want it to blend beautifully right into the browns that I put down. Make sure to do around your neck, your jawline, anywhere that you want a lot of shadow to be. Since we are doing kind of a carved jack-o'-lantern, I'm going to be using a small angled brush. This is from Morphe, and I am going to really accentuate every single piece that has been cut out from the jack-o'-lantern. By adding shadow around every single piece that's been kind of cut out, that'll just make it pop out even more. I'm still using a mix of these browns and blacks, and I'm focusing most of the shadow towards the bottom portions of every orange spot. Make sure to blend out even more with an orange eyeshadow from the Morphe palette because we do want it to blend seamlessly back into the orange. Especially focus the black towards the inner and outer corner because that will really make it look like it's curving around with your ribcage. I did want to add the little curves that a pumpkin does have so it looks even more like a jack-o'-lantern. So I am going to basically, with a little bit of dark brown and black eyeshadow from this Morphe palette, draw on the two lines going downwards and then shading outwards from that line so that it looks like that middle portion is on top and bulging out from the other two. In the Morphe palette, there's a nice bright but lighter orange than the Flamepoint orange from Sugarpill that we used earlier, so I'm going to use that in a small angled brush to just create the little indentions from the pumpkin being carved. If you look at a jack-o'-lantern realistically, the light illuminating from inside, you know, with the little candle, it does show exactly where it's been carved. It's not exactly the same color as the pumpkin outside, it's a little lighter. So focusing the carved portions on the bottom of every yellow part that I've drawn on, we're just going to kind of accentuate where it's been carved to really make it look like a carved skull. Then using a little bit of black paint from Mehron, I have this super watered down so it's not really black, and a small liner brush from Sigma. This is the E10, my motherfucking favorite. We're going to just really accentuate the lines even more. I want this to look carved and I want it to look realistic, but at the same time, I want this shit to pop out. So drawing a little line helps to really show that there are these little indentions in the carved pumpkin. Now the time has come to finally do my teeth after all my coffee is gone. So using the orange paint from Mehron and a small detail brush from Mehron, I'm just going to carve out the teeth to the exact shape I want them. When I did do them with the yellow, I kind of did them a little messy, so now I'm going to just clean them up. So while that paint is drying around my teeth, I did decide to go in with the white cream paint from Mehron again because I felt that the yellow looked so flat, and you know that I'm a motherfucking dimension queen, so I wanted to add in something that just helped to really make it look like it was illuminating from inside. So, like I say in almost every other tutorial, for every shadow, there is a highlight. So on the top of every yellow carved out piece, I wanted to add some white so it really looked like there was an intense shining light coming through. And then on the curves of the rib cage, I did it on one side and the other side, not focusing on the middle because, again, you want it to look as curved as possible. Going back to the teeth, I did go in with the black eyeshadow from the Morphe palette in a very, very small brush, and I'm just going in between every tooth to really accentuate the tooth itself. When you look at teeth, they do have a little bit of darkness in between them that blends out into the gums. Yes, fucking work that shit, bitch. Yes, queen. And here, you guys, is the final look. I hope you guys liked it so much. This is just the first video, so keep coming back. I have 30 more. I hope you guys don't get tired of me. But you're going to be seeing a lot of me, okay? My teeth look white because I have yellow around. Ooh, yeah, they look good. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you guys do recreate these looks, please use the hashtag HANZOWEEN. I want you guys to recreate these. I want you guys to, you know, experiment and make your own versions or whichever. That's the whole point of these tutorials. So please use the hashtag so I can see. And, you know, shit. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.